Good morning. Are you guys ready for day 2?
What's up, guys? I am Michael McAnally, and this is Leo the Hiking Dog. For the last year, we have been planning and preparing for this thru hike of the Appalachian Trail. Thank you for joining our adventure. If you are enjoying the journey, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We would be super thankful.
Good morning, day 2. We are already a couple miles into our day. Got up about 5 o'clock, got out of camp right around 6. It's close to 7 now, so we're already a little over a couple miles down. The sun is starting to come up. The mountain is turning into a beautiful canvas of oranges and yellows, and just, I love being up before the sun comes up and getting to watch it as it comes up as I'm hiking. It's absolutely amazing. I am starting to lose my voice a little bit. I think I'm getting a little allergy drainage down into my throat. No big deal. Just blowing snot rockets all over the mountain. It's kind of gross, but hey, it's reality. But yeah, we're gonna get some miles in here. We're gonna pass up. Our goal today is to try to pass up mountain crossings, go through Neels Gap, and then find something on the other side of that to camp at. So it's going to be a fantastic day. All right, I am standing at the top of Ramrock Mountain. It's a little bit of a climb, but man, this looks like a perfect place for us to sit down and have a little bit of breakfast. It's breakfast time. Yeah, Dad, I could eat. You ready to eat something? Let's stop here and have breakfast. All right, hiking up out of Neels Gap. They have a nice toilet there, so it's kind of nice to not have to dig a cat hole or use one of the privies at the shelter. So that was nice. So took care of business, and we're heading to Blood Mountain, which is about 10 miles from here. Well, 9 miles to Blood Mountain, 10 miles to Neels Gap. It's a 1 mile descent on Blood Mountain. So, but maybe we'll have lunch at the top of Blood Mountain. Most likely be there around that time, or a little bit after. I eat lunch normally around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Alright, we just hit 10 miles into day 2. Where it's 11 o'clock, so get a lot of miles in the morning. We're not that far from Blood Mountain. I think it's another 5 or so miles Blood Mountain and a mile down it. So, but and today's sun's out. It's warming up, so it's been beautiful. I got Tooth Fairy hiking with me back here behind me. He got his trail name because he fixed the guy's tooth on the PCT. He's also a dentist. That helps. Don't randomly go fixing people's teeth if you don't know what you're doing. But yeah, he told me that story last night at camp. So we kind of been hiking the same pace for a little bit here. But yeah, so we're gonna give you a look when I get up to Blood Mountain. Obviously, we'll give you the outlook there. It's gonna be very clear skies, so we won't summit that thing in the rain. So it's gonna be nice. Leo's still running up and down the trail. Can't even keep up with him, but he's doing great. All right, we'll see you at the top of Blood Mountain. It's been about 4 years since I've been up to the top of Blood Mountain. Last time I was there, it was my very first attempt at backpacking. If you'll go back and watch my rookie versus pro video, kind of go over all the mistakes that I was making, obviously, when I started. Just to give you an idea of what it took to get to Blood Mountain back then was, I think it took me 4 days. So from the time I left the lodge to get to Blood Mountain was 4 days. Here, 4 years later, a lot of backpacking trips, a lot of practicing, a lot of dialing gear in. And I'm going to reach Blood Mountain by probably 1 o'clock on day 2. So with a little bit of effort, a little bit of improvement, you definitely can get better at this. Don't get me wrong, I still think I suck at hiking, but I'm starting to improve, showing a lot of improvement, and seeing a lot of people out here that have no idea what they're doing makes me feel a lot better about where I'm at. But hey, they're out here, they're doing their thing, they're gonna learn like I did. Nothing like being cast into the fire to figure things out. Dad, you're slowing me down. I'm trying to get the Blood Mountain so we can have some lunch. Can you pick up the pace, please? Why don't you just walk on all fours like I do? It'd be a whole lot easier. All right, we stopped for a little lunch break before we got to Blood Mountain. I was gonna have lunch on the top of Blood Mountain, but it's 12:35, and unlike yesterday, normally I'll eat at like 1 o'clock if I get up and eat like at 7 or 8, but since I was up and eating at 6 o'clock this morning, got a little bit hungry, so I'm gonna fill up. I got my bagel sandwich with salami and cheese and peanut butter. That's my lunch special right there. Protein on top of protein on top of protein. So I'm gonna down this thing, and then we're gonna tackle Blood Mountain and then drop down into Neels Gap. Got a resupply I'm gonna be picking up there at Neels Gap, and then we're gonna hike through Neels Gap, and there's campsites I think on the other side of it. We'll see how I'm feeling, and if I want to push any further, maybe, I don't know. We'll just have to see after I drop down after there. That'll be about 16 for the day. I think we're about 13 and a half, 14 for the day right now. So just a couple miles left in the Neels Gap at least, and then we'll hike out of there. And maybe I'll eat again there. They have pizza. Definitely gonna get a cold drink for sure. All right, we're gonna have our lunch. Oh, what a climb. We made it. Top of Blood Mountain. Oh, that was one heck of a climb. Biggest one so far in Georgia. Oh, look around the shelter a little bit. Slide into the logbook. Ugh. Whew. I think we're gonna sit here and relax for a minute before we make that descent. The Blood Mountain descent is pretty gnarly. It's only 1 mile, but it's 1 mile pretty much straight down. So we're gonna rest up, sign in, and then start our descent. But we made it. Let's see. We are at 14 and a half, 15 miles on the day. I forgot to start at one time, so I think we're at 15 miles here at Blood Mountain. It is 2:15 because we stopped for lunch. But man, we're gonna enjoy this for a minute. I'm gonna show you guys the view from the rocks here in a second. After I unload my pack, I'll climb up the rocks and we'll take a look at the view. But right now, I'm pooped, so I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna drink some water. Dad, we did it. We climbed up Blood Mountain. You ready to go down and get some snacks at Neels Gap? Let's go, Dad. All right. Finished that descent from Blood Mountain. I tell you what, that is not a descent that you should take lightly. I almost forgot how bad it was. It's almost worse than climbing mountains. Climbing down Blood Mountain. It is hard on the knees and the legs. Just got to watch where you step. It's definitely a place that can end a hike very early. So you want to be super careful where you place your feet, how far you step down, all those type of things when you're coming down that area. We're going to make it into Neels Gap here in the mountain crossings and pick up my resupply. And then I got to make a decision as to where I'm going from there. Starting to lose a little bit of daylight. So I spent a little bit more time on top of Blood Mountain than I probably should have, but that's okay. I was enjoying it. Nobody else was up there. It was all mine and Leo's. We had it all to ourselves. So, all right, let's go get this resupply and figure out what we're doing for the night. All right, made it into Neels Gap and into mountain crossings. I checked on the rooms. They were only 35 bucks a night. Already done 17.5 miles a day, so we're gonna crash here at the little hostel. And I got me a pizza for dinner. There you go. But that does it for day 2. Made it to Neels Gap. Was pretty happy with the day. A little sore, won't lie. A little bit sore. Gonna take some ibuprofen, and I also got to see what's going on with this drainage in the throat. And so we'll see you guys tomorrow.